Well, good afternoon, folks. My name is Gaurav, and hope you all are doing great. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to this interactive session on mastering IELTS. And I have with me IELTS expert Ms. Shivani with us, who was kind enough to share her precious time with her and will be answering all your questions. Thanks, Shivani, for your time.
Welcome. It's a
Uh,
pleasure.
Yep. And here's the exciting part. For every question you ask, you will be getting 1,000 rupees, the amount will be transferred to your bank account directly via UPI. And there's another twist to this. If our expert Ms. Shivani is not able to answer your question, then you will be getting a whooping 2,000 rupees in your account. Yep, you heard that right. So whether you're facing any doubts regarding uh, your preparation, your IELTS strategies, or you want some tips and tricks regarding IELTS, this is your time. And but remember that it's not all about rewards, but it's about gaining valuable insights, enhancing your IELTS preparations, and getting one step closer to achieving your goals. Before that, let us know from where you all are tuning in, which city, which state. And in the meantime, I would request Ms. Shivani to say something about herself to our audience.
Right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this live session. My name is Shivani Agarwal, and I'm working as senior trainer with YXS, and I'll be completing 6 years working with YXS. However, I hold more than 12 years of experience training on IELTS. So you're most welcome to ask any questions that you must be struggling with when it comes to IELTS.
Great. Thanks, Shivani, for that. All right. So, without further ado, let's dive into this exciting session. So, folks, type in your interesting questions in the chat, and who knows, might you might be winning the 1,000 rupees today. Let me ask first question because I want that 1,000 to myself. Just kidding. So, my first question to you is how IELTS helps non-native English speakers in getting either job or if they want to study in English speaking nations.
So anybody, any non-native speaker of language, if they want to travel abroad for their permanent residency or
Mhm.
for their study abroad, then it is essential. And anybody can do it because here we just test your proficiency in English language. And here we do not test your literature. We just check your day-to-day conversational language. So how comfortable you are with this language, will you be able to communicate when you land in a country where English is the medium of conversation?
That's right. Great. So I can see people joining in from Hyderabad, Bangalore, Haryana. That's great. That's good to know. Right. So we have our first question from Mr. Abdullah. He asks, can you provide some tips for improving my vocabulary for the IELTS exam?
Definitely, Abdullah. So this is a quite common question we often face, and as I always say, there is no end to vocabulary enhancement. But we always also suggest that you should be repetitive when it comes to IELTS. Hence, to improve your vocabulary, I suggest keep learning one or two new words every day. Now, how do you do that? Just getting new words and noting them down in the notebook will not help. Many a times we read certain things, we come across certain words which we understand, but we do not use in our day to day language because they are not part of our active vocabulary bank. So every day, pick one word or two words as per your potential and ensure that you will be using these two words today at least 3 or 4 times. And to come across in terms of pronunciation of that particular word or the usage of that word in different contexts. You need to be practicing it every single day. And believe me, if you use a word 3 or 4 times, it automatically gets added to your active vocabulary bank. And without you making any effort, it will just flow. So try doing this. Keep picking one or two words every single day and use them. Just noting them down in the diary will not help. I hope this helps, Abdullah.
Great. That was a very elaborate answer, and I hope, Abdullah, you got your answer. And Abdullah, don't forget to share your UPI ID in the chat so that our team could send the amount directly in your bank account. Thanks, Shivani. Thanks for answering that. All right, let's see. What else have we got? I can see a lot of people joining in. It's very good to know. All right, so we have another question from AB Jain. He's asking, I wrote my IELTS before, but my writing scores were always lower. Can you give some tips to improve the score in this section?
All right. So coming on to your writing score, and this is a general problem. Many people, many test takers who hold excellent command on English language often tend to fumble when it comes to writing module. The reason is when it comes to writing, we not only concentrate on your vocabulary or the task completion, there is an important parameter which says coherence and cohesion, which is often ignored by the test takers. Now, coherence and cohesion is you need to demarcate your paragraphs carefully. Also, when you are demarcating your paragraphs, the transition from one paragraph to the next has to be smooth. Apart from this, amidst the paragraph also, you need to ensure that you are maintaining cohesion among your sentences. For example, you need to use cohesive devices. However, although, moreover, on the contrary, this makes it easier for the other person to understand what you're trying to say. So up to four parameters, many people they take care of task completion, task response, they take care of their lexical resource and their grammar part. But most of the times they miss out on coherence and cohesion, which is quite an important parameter and hold 25% of your overall writing band score. Hence, please work on this. I have given you other three parameters also. That is lexical resource, your overall language, your grammar, grammatical range and accuracy, and your task response. Have you understood the question completely and answered it? So take care of all these four parameters and sure you're going to improve it next time.
Great. I hope Shivani was able to answer your question, Jane. It was very elaborative and pretty clear. All right. So my team just confirmed that Abdullah has received the amount. Abdullah, could you please confirm the same in the chat so that others are motivated to do the same and ask few interesting questions? All right. All right, folks. Keep on asking interesting questions. Here's your time to take advantage of this session and go with both rewards and knowledge. Well, I can see one compliment to Y-Axis rather than a question from Pankaj, who says, "We are so grateful for Y-Axis overseas careers. More than 11 years ago, they got a Australian PR, and we are well settled in Australia." Well, thanks,
Wow,
Pankaj.
thank you.
Thanks, Pankaj, for your appreciation. All right. Well, for those who have joined us late, I just want to repeat that if you are asking any question regarding IELTS, you will have the chance to win $1,000, which would be directly sending to your bank account via UPI ID. And the twist here is that if our expert is not able to answer that question, we are doubling the stake, and you will be getting whooping 2,000 directly transferred to your bank account right now. So keep on asking interesting questions regarding IELTS preparation, IELTS strategies, tips and tricks. Keep those questions coming in, folks. We have one question from Varsha who says, which IELTS paper is more important for students to pursue business management and financial management?
Okay, so there is no distinction when it comes to IELTS papers, be it business management or financial management. You have to take the same IELTS academic. So we have two types of IELTS. One is IELTS general, which is taken by people who want to go for permanent residency, and the other one is IELTS academic, which is taken by the students. Now, wherever you want to go, IELTS academic would remain the same, irrespective of the stream that you choose. So that won't make any difference.
All right. Varsha, I think you got your answer that there's no specific preparation strategy for each division. The strategy remains the same, which is applicable for both financial and business management. Varsha, also share your UPI ID so that our team could transfer the amount directly to your bank account. I can see a lot of people joining in from all parts of India. Come on, guys, this is your time to ask interesting questions. I can see that Varsha has shared her UPI ID, and I hope my team is working on that to send the amount directly to her bank account. So Pankaj has followed up with us, who earlier said that he's very thankful to Y-Axis for their permanent Australian visa. And he says that we also recommend Y-Axis to our few friends and two more of our friends who have received the PR. Always grateful. So are we. It's mutual. Guys, as a gentle reminder, please ask question along with your UPI ID so that it would be helpful for the team to send the amount directly and fast so that you don't have to type in the UPI ID again. I'm still waiting on for a few interesting questions. Come on, guys.
Yes, people keep the questions coming. IELTS can turn your dreams into reality.
That's right. All right. So my team is confirming me right now that payment has been done to Varsha. Varsha, could you please confirm the same in the chat? I saw one question from Mohammed who asked, "What are the different modules of IELTS and how different it is from one another?"
Okay. So IELTS is a test wherein we check your proficiency in English language. And to test proficiency in any language, we check your receptive skills as well as productive skills. So productive skills we check with two modules, that is your speaking and writing. Receptive skills we check with your reading and listening module. So we have four modules and they are totally different from each other as the skill suggests. So speaking module we test how comfortable you are speaking in this language and communicate your thoughts. Writing is you express through written medium. You are supposed to write a letter and an essay if you take IELTS general. If you take IELTS academic, then you're supposed to write one report and the essay. Coming on to reading and listening, again, receptive skills. So we test how comfortable you are when you read something. Are you able to understand the other person's point of view? Likewise, when you listen to any person speaking in English, are you able to comprehend what the other person is saying? So these things we check with your reading and listening, and the modules are completely different from each other because they test different skills.
Great. That was very detailed analysis. And I hope, Mohammed, you got your answer. And please don't forget to share the UPI ID in the chats. It's Mohammed bin Karwan. Next, we have one question from Mani Chahar who asks, "What are the new updates on IELTS?"
Right? So IELTS doesn't have many updates. That's the beauty of this test. So we do not have any updates in terms of content. The only thing is we have changed it from earlier we used to say sections when it comes to listening module. Now we call them as parts. Apart from that, yes, computer-based test, which started 2 years back and it was not available earlier. Apart from this, we have one sectional intake, which is a latest update, but it is not accepted everywhere. One sectional intake is, let's say you got your desirable score in three modules: listening, speaking, and reading. Writing, you could not. So, writing, you can take it only the writing module. So, that is an update. However, you need to ensure that wherever you are applying for, they are accepting this one sectional intake. Also, it is not available everywhere as of now. They have made it available only at the select centers and only for the people who have taken computer based tests in the last 60 days. So there are many terms and conditions you need to check as per your specific requirement.
Great. So the strategy remains the same. You just need to focus on the process. You have to go through the process very carefully, very thoroughly, and you need to have a good consultancy. I need to pitch in Y axis is the one. All right. I just got a confirmation from my team that payment has been done to Mahmood. Mahmood, could you please confirm the same in the chats so that others are also interested in asking interesting questions regarding IELTS? Keep the questions coming in, folks. So we have one question from Pranay who says, "Hello, I'm from Hyderabad. If I receive a lower listening score, When will I be able to retake the test? Like for if he's, I think he's applying for Australia.
All right. So, Pranay, there is no bar. You can immediately apply for the next week IELTS that is happening. And IELTS slots are available almost every day, every week. So, there is no bar that you need to take a gap before you take another test. Now, coming on to your specific case, what I suggest is, let's assume that you got a lower score in listening. I would suggest that at least practice for 1 week or 10 days. Get comfortable with the different kind of accents that we get, because many people face this difficulty. So once you're comfortable enough, then take the test again. So keep a gap of 10 to 15 days. That is advised. However, there is no bar or restriction from IELTS authorities. You can book the next exam whenever you are comfortable.
Great. So Pranay, that's the good news. You don't have any bar for the repetition of exams. You can take it up as many times as you want. But the thing is, you should be prepared enough as compared to your last attempt to get the result. All right. I got a confirmation from Pranay, from my team, that amount has been sent to Pranay's account. Great. I can see a lot of new folks have joined in. Guys, I just want to repeat that ask any question related to IELTS, and we have our expert Ms. Shivani with us, who would be helping us answer all those questions, and you will be getting rewarded as well. I've got one question from Apeksha, who asks, "What are the best methods to prepare for IELTS for working people?" I think that's a very valid question. People who are working.
Yes, absolutely. So, Apeksha, people who are working and you will be going for permanent residency, you'll be taking IELTS General. Now, coming on to the time issue that many people who work, they face difficulty, they are unable to practice. Whatever said and done, we need to practice. Specifically, there are modules like reading and writing which would require practice, and you will have to be consistent in the way that at least take out 15 minutes or 20 minutes every single day, or try working on the weekends. So YXs, what we are doing is we are also providing weekend batches, wherein working professionals, they join on the weekends and they take 3 hours long sessions so that they can prepare. Coming on to the speaking module, that would be an everyday preparation. It would not require you to sit and prepare for it. Just make it a point that every day you follow the tips and tricks that we share during our sessions. And whatever we say, we all speak in English language, but IELTS is a different exam. The requirements of that exam are different, and you need to make certain modifications in the way you speak to ace IELTS exam. So weekend classes are available for working professionals specifically. Please make use of them and be consistent, because I often hear this from test takers that I don't get time. I know, but you have to extract time, maybe 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes every single day, or compensated over the weekends.
Great. I hope, Apeksha, you got your answers, that persistency and patience is the key for working professionals, just like everything else.
And we have a solution. We provide weekend classes.
That's true. Great. Uh, so we have another question from Webhub who asks, "What are the non-IELTS country where non-IT people gets job, and how one could apply for PR for those countries?"
Not every country offers PR. In that case, only a few selected countries like Canada, Australia, and recently Germany, they have started providing you PR. And so when it comes to PR, IELTS becomes essential. And regarding countries who are not accepting IELTS or non-native, I think this question is not related to IELTS exam because there are not many other countries who provide you PR beforehand. So there are countries where you go, stay there, then they offer you, but beforehand, after and along with IELTS, it's Canada, Australia, and then comes latest is Germany.
Great. Uh, Let me see some other few interesting questions. All right, I could see one question from Palak Tapsi who asks, "Can you please give tips and tricks for reading module, especially for big paragraphs?"
Absolutely, Palak. This is a major concern. And when it comes to IELTS academic or IELTS general, section 3, we have long paragraphs and we have time constraint. So, what I suggest you, one is skimming comes handy here, and there are no two ways about it. When I say skimming, you would read just first sentence of each paragraph so as to understand what this paragraph is all about, because that's a universal rule that we follow. First sentence has to be a topic sentence. After you have skimmed, your life is easier. Now, if your question is pertaining to that particular paragraph, you will go to that paragraph and look for your answer. Coming on to the answer, what will you do? You will have some keywords in your questions. Identify those keywords and look for the synonyms of those keywords in that particular paragraph. And there you will be able to easily find your answer without wasting much time. Reading is all about keywords, their synonyms, skimming, scanning, and managing your time. That if you have a grip on this, you can easily ace your IELTS reading.
Great. So, Palak, I hope the answer from Shivani will help you improve your strategy regarding writing module in for long paragraphs. I just got a confirmation from my team that Apeksha has received 1,000 bucks in her account. Great. All right. I can see a lot of people have joined in recently. So we have a general question which is not regarding IELTS, but I think it's a valid one. Uh, what's the current status of Canada PR, as everyone is aware about the ongoing situation between India and Canada?
Yeah, there's a lot of tension building up. However, the process is going on. The visas are also being issued. That's what even I have heard. So we do not know much about it. Still, yes, many people have their question marks,
Mhm.
but it is not going to impact. It will be resolved soon. Also, the processes are going on smoothly. Those who have got their visas and those who have applied for PR. So you need not worry about it. Whenever there would be an entry pool, you can definitely expect a drop. So it is not going to impact it.
Great. So we have to be optimistic about the situation, and hopefully the situation calms down and things will be as usual. Great. I can see Asha, Oju, Thandani. Those people have recently joined. Palak says, "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your answer. It was very helpful."
You're
Thanks,
welcome,
Shivani.
Palak.
Great. Upadhyay says, thank you for addressing these questions. It's very helpful for us in preparation of our IELTS strategies.
Welcome.
In the meantime, I have one question for Shivani. I want to ask how this IELTS exam is a proper gauge for non-native speakers who wants to go to abroad for either work, study, or means it could be anything. How accurate is this IELTS exam?
All right. So this IELTS exam is taken up with a purpose. So this is a brainchild of University of Cambridge, and this came with a purpose that people who move abroad, they should be comfortable there, communicating their thoughts and
Okay.
understanding what others are saying. So what we do here is many here in India we do not face that issue because most of us speak English and we understand. So for us it is not a rocket science, but there are many other countries where people are unable to have basic understanding of this language. So when they move and travel to such countries, at least, and they used to face enormous difficulties. So for this, yes, and as I mentioned, we have all four different modules so that we ensure the person who travels abroad and is settling up there for a longer duration should be able to have his or her basic communication right in terms of either speaking or reading or listening or writing.
Right.
So it at least sets you up right there that you can have your basic conversation done well.
That's right. All right. Uh, we are in the last segment of our session. Would be taking two more questions. Come on, guys, buck up, ask interesting questions, and here's your chance to win $1,000. So we have one question coming up from Manasa who says, "Do we have chance to take IELTS test from home apart from the center?"
No, absolutely no. We have both the versions available, paper based test and computer delivered test. But for both, whichever you choose, you still need to visit a center to take the test. Be it your listening, reading, writing for the day which you book a slot, or your speaking interview, which happens separately, either on the same day or maybe 2 to 3 days before or 2 to 3 days after. But for everything, you need to visit a center. There is no provision of taking it from home.
Right. So COVID guidelines doesn't apply here. So
Absolutely. And even during COVID, they conducted it from the center. The test takers, there were strict guidelines issued. The test takers were taking even speaking tests with their masks on, but they didn't budge.
that's right. All right. All right, folks. So that was the session regarding IELTS mastering session. And I again want to thank our expert, Ms. Shivani, for her valuable time in answering all those interesting questions. And I hope, guys, this session was interactive, informative, and rewarding for few of the participants. Thanks again. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, everybody. It was pleasure answering your questions.